Hi, welcome back to Happily in the Middle. Today I'm going to share with you a tour of my classroom. Now, before I did this tour, I did not clean up anything. It's actually state testing time, and I've taken a few things off of the walls, and a few things have also been covered up on the walls, so you'll see that in the video. But I just thought it would be nice to show you where I spend most of my time when I am in the classroom. Well, I guess I spend all of my time here. Where I spend most of my day. I really like my classroom. It's gone through a lot of transformation over the last year. I've been working really hard to make it more student friendly and to provide more space in the room for my students. So in the video, you'll see I have this huge, gigantic desk in the back of the room, and it's something that I'm really working towards getting out of the room this summer. I have finally committed. I do not want the desk in my classroom at all. I actually don't use it anymore. I have found that using my horseshoe table where I pull small groups for reading intervention is much better than the desk anyways, and it really has just become a storage place. So I really want to get a nice bookshelf this summer that I can use for storage and to just organize the space back here better, but also open up some room in the back of the classroom as well. I teach the 5th graders in the morning, and we do a reading intervention class, and so I like to pull them down to the carpet so we can do Need Any Partners, and we can do read alouds, and we can really discuss the text, and we can work on our anchor charts that we have up on the walls. And so having space in the back of the room is really important. And as you see in the video, we have these new collaborative learning desks that our district got us, and though they're a really neat idea, I struggle with the space. So if you have any ideas on how to make 35 desks fit in the classroom a little bit better, please offer those down in the comments. If you have anything else that you can offer to make my classroom better organized, or something you think that maybe I need to just improve or change, please let me know that in the comments as well. I'm always looking for ways to make my classroom better and to be more organized, because I think the more organized your classroom is, the more smooth that things just seem to flow, and the easier it is for students to pick up and learn those routines, and to also be a little more self-sufficient in the classroom. All right, so let's get started. So this is the door to my classroom. As you can see, we have a mindset poster. This comes from our Amplify curriculum that we use. Also, we have a bar there for safety in the classroom. And panning over to the side, you can see our safety station with my red folder, our safety bag, fire extinguisher, our safety plan. There's just like a lot of stuff that we have to have there. And here's our recycle, and then some bookshelves. And then over here you can see this is the classroom library area. So this is going to be just kind of a general view of the classroom from the front door when you come in. So you can see those desks. These are those collaborative learning desks that I mentioned before, and they take up a lot of space. I used to have a rug in the classroom library where students could sit for independent reading, but there's not even room for that anymore, so I had to take it down. So we're almost back to the front door of the classroom. And here we are back to the front door. So when you first come in, I have the Williams Act information. These are all of the students' rights. Don't really like that orange border. It was actually there when I came into my classroom. I should change that. Then up around the border of my classroom, I have a Greek pottery project that my students and I worked on at the beginning of our Greek mythology unit. And so this was a project where the students just drew symbols inside of the pottery that represented them, much like the Greeks would do that with their pottery. Over here we have a Read 180 bookshelf. This is where all of my students keep their R books and their yellow reading folders, and then we have composition books for any of our writing assignments. I have a restroom sign-out sheet right here. Don't want to get too close because there are student names on there. And then this is my stacking folder, I guess, for students to get reading logs every week. I got those off of Teachers Pay Teachers from Kasey Kiehl. I love them. They're super good. Over here is the best pencil sharpener I have ever had. I have spent hundreds of dollars on pencil sharpeners. This one sharpens a pencil in 3 to 4 seconds, and it's amazing. It's really good. Up here is a Twitter-themed poster board. I've put a lot of different things where students have interacted. We've tweeted out, we've had student work displayed up on the Twitter board, but currently we have these cute little bookworm projects that students did. This was an extra credit project. And so in this project, students, they had read a book in class and they had to write about the book in a variety of ways. Conflict, theme, and setting. Here they had to talk about the beginning, middle, and end of the book with the end inside of here. And these are little vocabulary cards. Inside are the definitions. And then up here is the cast of characters. And then, of course, when you have it all together, it just makes this cute little bookworm. That was also from Teachers Pay Teachers. So here's a couple more examples. They're just so cute. Some of the kids didn't like the worm face, so they took them off. Here is my iMessage station. I was having a lot of problems with tattletelling, and so I taught a lesson with students on how to use an iMessage so that they could express themselves and let others know that what they had said or done was hurtful or had made them uncomfortable. And so now almost anytime students come to me and they tattletale, I just say, hey, have you used an iMessage? And if they haven't, I send them over to the iMessage station, and 90% of the time that takes care of it. And the other times I do have to intervene and typically have a discussion with both students, but it just makes for a really great resource for students to use to help advocate for themselves. And then over here, down below our pencil sharpener, I have a little basket. And inside of here, you can see there are numbers on each of the little folders. And the numbers correspond to a day in the month. And so if a student is absent on the 15th, they come over here to number 15, and they get the missing papers, or the papers they missed, really. So here is my calendar. This is where I write just the assignments that we did in class that day. As you can see, we've been doing testing. Today's the 10th. So not a whole lot going on other than just reading and beginning our writing benchmark and our Genius Hour projects. Up here we have a Kindness Like Confetti poster project that we worked on in the beginning of the year. And then coming over here, this is like my first attempt at making a huge poster board for students. I wanted to really excite them about our Greek mythology unit, and so I created Mount Olympus. And then I have posted all over Olympus the different gods and goddesses and then heroes from our unit that we're currently studying in our Amplify curriculum. And then we have some torches up there, and these were props that we had used in some skits that we had done in class to help us show our comprehension and understanding of the story of Prometheus and when he gave humans fire. And then over here we have our behavior guidelines and expectations for using Flipgrid. This was something I didn't think I need to do, but you know, I'm teaching 6th grade, and I just sometimes forget that we have to be really explicit about behavior, even if it's just videotaping ourselves and being serious in class. And over here in the back corner, I have my Read 180 station, and over here I have my sticker chart for when students pass their reading books, and then a KWL chart for each of our units. So currently we're working on the food, good, bad, and gross unit. Students are loving it. We just read a story about eating bugs. Very interesting. Up here is just my Read 180 headphones and some snacks, and then this is like a big cabinet that I have in the classroom. On the side, I just have like extra projects and like giant things of chart paper because I use a lot of chart paper for anchor charts in class. So opening up, you can see I have a nice mirror there so that I can, I don't know, check my hair. And then inside, I just have like a lot of supplies. And back here, I have some swords from my Romeo and Juliet days, and then some extra headphones. Down here, I have mini whiteboards, lots of scissors and pencils and extra supplies that I could use in class as needed. And then here's like a snack bin for snacks. And then I have this huge bucket of pens and pencils. It was full not too long ago. put pencils out about every Monday and Wednesday to make sure kids have writing utensils. Just the population of kids I have don't have them. And then this is like a giant bucket of sticky notes. I have a sticky note obsession. I have so many sticky notes. These ones are cute leaves, and I just have a sticky note problem. And then up here again is just like extra supplies and materials. Down inside of these drawers, again, is just extra supplies. So whiteboard markers and red pens and blue highlighters for writing. And then over here, I also just have extra projects that I keep from students to show as models in the future. Coming over here is this giant desk that I told you about. I really want to get rid of it and put a bookshelf there where I can put some cubbies and just do like general storage, and then make more room for when I pull students down to the carpet. On my desk, I just have like a stacking tray of like extra papers, and then extra books from my book club, and the printer, and of course the phone. That's just like a game board for spelling intervention that I do. And then I have this really great reading response journal source to help students with responding to what they read. In the back, this area is really messy. This is like my teacher area. I have some projects going on with Genius Hours, so there's a lot of extra supplies here that aren't normally here for my students. But you can see my bookshelves, and then I have a lot of teacher versions of novels, and then have a lot of books that are free books. I do raffles for constantly because I get so many free books from Scholastic, from the reading book club. And then I have a horseshoe table. I got these really great stools from IKEA. I think they were like $6 each. And so I got 8 of them so I could pull students for a small group intervention. And then back there I just have like just like pictures and stuff that I really enjoy. And then up there, it shouldn't be up there, but I just set it up there. But this is like a bin that's full of prizes for the Class Dojo store. Over here, I have the Chromebook station, and inside of here, I have 35, they're actual ThinkPads. I used to have a Chrome cart last year. This time I have the ThinkPad cart. And then here is just directions on how to use the ThinkPad and plug things in. And then back up behind it, I have extra books for book club. And then these are a really great resource. In the beginning of the year, when I first met my students, I had each of them make a name tag, and then I've kept all the name tags, so anytime there's a sub, the kids know they have to get their name tags, so that way the sub knows all of their names. And then above that, I have our consequences poster. This is both positive and negative consequences, so the students all know the process and it's consistent for everybody. And then coming towards the front of the classroom, I have this upside down stool I've been using to store all of my anchor charts from the year. So I dig through that and I just pull out charts that I need as I need them again. And then this is the 6th grade agenda and homework board. So the students know exactly what we're doing in class, and then they know our content and our language objectives. And then down there, I also have books that I recommend. So I do a book chat every day with a new book. And then students also do book chats when they want to share books that they're reading. And so if I back up a little, you can see I have an anchor chart hanging. And what I normally do is I just move this back and forth because underneath it is the 5th grade agenda for Read 180. And so I have their do now or their agenda plus their content and language objectives as well. So I'm just going to pan around so you can see this is the angle from the opposite corner of the classroom. You can see there are a lot of desks just kind of everywhere. And so they take up a lot of space. I know this back desk group in the corner, I have those desks pushed up against the wall at the end of the day so that when I start Read 180 in the morning, I can have a computer software station where all of the kids have their computers and they're facing so that I can see each of their computers while I'm working at my small group table. It also gives me room to pull my small groups, pull the whole group for like a whole group lesson in the back. So here's the board. And then down below, I have extra books because my library is just getting so full. And so these are all free books I've gotten from Scholastic Book Club. I have my Read 180R book, and then a Greek mythology book that kids can borrow when they finish early. And then this bucket of dry erase markers, because I just feel like sometimes I get so overwhelmed with all my dry erase markers being everywhere. Just an assignment that we're currently working on. And then panning around here, I have my technology station. It's kind of messy. We just finished our testing session, and so things are just kind of crazy and everywhere, but I have an overhead projector. And then this Elmo is actually my Elmo. My husband got it for me off of eBay for a birthday present, but I have a little bell here that I ding to get student attention, and then I also have a timer that I use every day all the time, and then my iPad. And then coming over here is my Read 180 library. And so this is where all the Read 180 books are, and then kids can take their book quizzes on that. Up here I just have like a station for supplies. So here's highlighters and green and pink and yellow. This is for our Step Up to Writing curriculum. And then just above that I have a big poster board which has all of the class rules. And so above all the class rules are written really clearly, and we've done mini lessons on each of these rules, and then also community building activities from tribes that correspond to all of them. And then down below I have all of my classroom rules in memes, because I think using memes really helps students understand and put a picture to it to make it easier to remember the rules. Over here I have the bookshelf I hate the most in my classroom. It's just full of dictionaries and a bunch of thesauruses, and they're just, I don't know what to do with that bookshelf. And then I have clipboards for students to give them some flexible seating so they can stand if they want. And this is our writing poster from Amplify, and so these are our rules for writing we go over every time we begin writing in class. And then over here, I've covered up all my student names, but this is my Readmoji poster. It's like an Instagram themed board. So students can go up here and they can share what their favorite book is. And then they give these cute little Readmoji stickers. I actually got this from Scholastic as like a teacher gift for ordering in the beginning of the school year. And then up above this is my slant area of my classroom where my students can see and be reminded what does it mean to slant when we are having discussions, so that we know how to show respectful and attentive listening. And then this is where I have all of my series or really popular books in the classroom. You can see all of the really popular Percy Jackson and Raina Telgemeier, and the amulets, they're always gone. And then of course the graphic novel basket is always empty. And then down in this section here, I have rugs for reading, the Read 180 graphic organizers and quick writes, and then that rug I mentioned earlier I used to have on the carpet, but there's just not room because of the desks. You can kind of see how close the desks are to the reading station here. They're just right around the corner. Then this is my classroom library. I worked really hard over, I think, like last Christmas break or the Christmas break before to get all of these really cute little cell phone labels for each of the genres of books in our classroom library. So don't judge me if any of the books are in the wrong spots, because the classroom library is just like really messy. It's the end of the year. Things have kind of gotten out of control. So it just makes it easy for the kids to find the kind of books that they really want to read if they just know what genre basket to collect. But I also use these baskets for a really nice class activity. It's sort of like speed dating with books, but I give them a basket of books to work through. And then this is the library book sign out area. And then I have some buckets where students turn in their classwork. I found that this is just like the best way to do this, because I had trays before and they just didn't work. So I got these $1 bins from the dollar store, and the kids just put their work in the tub, and then nothing gets mixed up or lost, or the kids don't get confused and put them in the wrong spot. And then up here, because we just finished testing, I also have the writing process, but it's covered up with these testing motivation signs. And then back around here is just a close-up of those desks. So they can be pushed around and you can make them into different shapes, but they take up a lot of space in the classroom. They're kind of like front to back, wall to wall in the classroom. So here's another view of the class. Up above the board, it says, have those cute little iPhones up there, and then it says this year is going to be, and on the way other side over here, it says absolutely amazing. And then up here is the last thing I'll share with you today, and this is the Rick Morris hand signals. This just makes it so easy to understand what the kids want when they raise their hand, and it just makes the management go really quickly. And so the one thing that's not up there is the restroom signal, but the kids all basically know what the restroom signal is. Thanks again for joining me here at Happily in the Middle. I hope you liked the classroom tour. I'm looking forward to sharing with you in the next few videos some tips and ideas that I have to help make the teacher interview successful. So this is going to start with your cover letter and resume and look into the teacher interview process and see what that's like.